A buck swope joint.
I wanted that day off.
We have a best of on Wednesday. Did you know that?
Yes.
I read that on the schedule.
I did too, and I texted Pete. I said, "What's the word here?" And Pete said, "The Cat, I guess you're heading to Milwaukee."
That's correct.
Well, the Cardinals open up the season in Milwaukee on Thursday. You can catch it on Fox Sports Midwest and the Fox Sports Go app. So that's where the Cat will be. Doug, you're going to be in the Hamptons, I believe.
Yeah. East Hamptons.
Yeah, we get to the place.
Stand next to Billy Joel.
Now I'm ponied up at the dining room table as always, but I guess Chuckles, maybe he's going to Milwaukee. I don't know. The Cat, maybe you would know if Chuckles is going to Milwaukee.
I assume so. He's one of those reporters that just feels comfortable where the news is happening. So I'm going to say
like
that.
Wes Mantooth.
Yeah.
And I guess Jennings is not available, and so they just said we'll do a best of on Wednesday. So what that means, Gangster Pete said, yeah, it's a best of on Wednesday. Oh, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that.
I wanted that day off.
Tomorrow, it's a best of TMA. Doug, you are in the Hamptons.
Yes.
The Cat, you're en route to Milwaukee. And I gather that Jennings is not available, and Charlie, I gather, is en route to Milwaukee. And so station management said, hey, we'll do a best of. And you know what we said? We said, sounds good to us.
No, we said there is no best of.
Yeah.
And me and Pete have been putting this together, and our issue is there have been a lot of baseball news, Cardinal news, and you don't want to go back too far, and most of the show talking about the Goldschmidt signing that happened a month ago.
No, you don't.
You don't,
No.
or the Goldschmidt trade, I mean. So we decided to do the alien and poop talk.
Oh, no.
We're playing that one again. That was, to
Haven't
me,
heard that in a while.
well, you want it to be kind of timely, and the live reads kind of need a matchup as well, so you can't go back to the 2017, 2018. It just would be weird what the topics would be. The best ofs are tough. So we're doing that. Yes, Kat.
Do you think that conversation was interesting enough where we want to play it back just days after it originally aired, where people didn't seem to like it to begin with?
Well, it was so darn timely.
That was the most texts I've seen on a topic in a while. We're both of those.
So you're talking about the segment from yesterday?
Yes.
Are you saying it's because we got a lot of comments, or just because that's the easiest thing to do? It's in the system. Let's just run that thing
no,
again.
it's literally, it's not, no, it's just the same pulling something from yesterday as it was from 2017. It's all in the same air check. So it takes one right click, open it up in Adobe. So it wasn't being lazy. I'm telling you, you don't want to hear about stuff that's already happened.
No, you don't.
It really is terrible.
Now, how would we
It's
go
awful.
about promoting this? So
I'm not listening to 2 years worth of shows
Why?
to find one that's timely.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not.
Doug, how do we promote this? You guys hated it when we did it 2 days ago.
There was a ton of love on the text line and fan page from the shows. And so that's what we're going to do. Because we didn't know if we should do a Hot Shots event. Should we throw in a Swopes picks? It's tough.
Swopes pins.
Yes.
I truly didn't know we were doing a best of. I looked at the schedule.
We
Jim
didn't
Hewitt
know
sends
either.
it out on.
That's why we kind of scrambling, I guess would be the term. So we're trying to do the best as we could.
No
for the few
complaints
days.
on our end, that's
No,
for
it's
certain.
fine.
And I
When
understand
you
people are traveling. So I saw that on Friday, and I thought, I wonder maybe the move would be to do 3 hours of I've done 7 interviews, I guess, down here. The Cat, you've done a bunch of interviews for the Cat Chat, and then potentially play those, and then make it, your day before the Cardinals open up the season. But, Doug, there was a discussion on aliens and somebody crapping at my house that may have been a vandal, and I guess we're just going to – that's fine.
And what's
there you
great
go.
is we had Hoosier Talk today. We're bringing back the Hoosier conversation from a week ago.
Are we?
Again, it's a timely issue.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, no question. I remember when I was at university studying speech communications, and the professor said, now, if you're lucky enough, at some point your career will advance where you're on sports talk radio, and if there's ever a circumstance where you need a best of program, you take it from 2 days ago and plug it in.
Your professor was from Pepper's Farms?
No, that's actually the professor from the Paper Chase.
Right, John Houseman, right?
May he rest in peace. He was in the Naked Gun, Doug.
You enter with a skull full of mush, and if you're lucky, you leave thinking like a lawyer.
Lawyer. Okay.
Timmy Recap says, hold on a second. Just so I'm clear, tomorrow's best of show is literally a replay of yesterday's show.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's how
it'll
they
be
teach
from
it at university.
No, it'll be. He was wrong. Tomorrow's show will be technically from 2 days ago.
Right, that's a while back.
So the poop talk and the alien talk was for an hour. What are the other 2 hours?
No, I think those were separate.
You're going to just do the whole show, aren't you?
We did the
You're just
poop.
going to rerun the whole show.
Just run that first hour 3 times. It's fine. That's what they teach.
No, we did the poop and like the gravity talk. I know those were 2 separate hours. We got those taken care of. But like I said, you don't want to go back
Nice.
and hear about Pete Cosma going 1 for 5, and it just doesn't make sense
No,
for
it
something
doesn't.
to play that.
Plus, it's so
especially
much
right
easier.
before the.
It's so much easier.
Doug, you couldn't have said it better. It was easier,
Yeah.
but not that much easier. Like
Yeah,
it really is easy to pull a clip from 2017. It's not easy to find one that doesn't have a lot of talk that has already been regurgitated
I understand.
years prior.
Hey, boys, if I may,
Yes.
What?
we have a new sponsor that's here, and I'm told we would like to welcome them to the 590 The Fan family,
Well, sure.
Honey Pit Smokehouse.
Pot him up!
Honey Pit Smokehouse.
No, I went there like 2 weeks
Wow.
ago.
And they brought in
I hear
some
that's the
treats.
places. I haven't been there yet, and I hear it's the bee's knees.
They brought us some brisket and some pulled pork and a bunch of other good stuff.
Really?
And I was just talking to the
at
folks,
your
and the
face.
food looks great. They
It
said
smells
we want
good.
it to be with a radio show that has the foresight to do a best of from 2 days ago.
Right. My jowls are watery now because I just smelled that food.
We call that a pran builder.
Producer Joe is listening, and he is not impressed with the producing staff.
Joe, again, we just heard about this best of 2 days ago, so it's
new.
not.
Yeah.
It's not new, or it's not like something. we
I don't
knew
have
of.
time to be looking like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. All right, we're taking yesterday's show, okay? Capiche?
Exactly. I think my explanation is great.
Maybe moving forward, if we find that we have an hour that is particularly clever or whatever, and the whole thing went pretty well, maybe you ought to write it down somewhere and
So
say.
you want me to write on a sheet of paper from February 2017? Good segment.
No,
solid
not 2017.
segment.
Like
And then at
from I said,
2019,
moving forward. If in the next few days we should stumble upon a decent segment, just jot it into your notes somewhere on the computer saying this certain day,
doesn't happen
certain
often.
hour.
It doesn't happen often.
And then you won't have to go back and look at everything.
Now,
and you can just
You just
splice
said
3 hours
and
together.
you just said your explanation was perfect. Your explanation was that it's timely, that the alien poop talk was timely. That's not a great explanation.
timely in a sense that there's no news in there that you've already heard of. There's no games that have been played that were 2
Evergreen is
years
the word
ago.
you're looking for. This conversation was evergreen. It can be
Was
played at
evergreen.
any
This guy knows
time.
the business. You know the business.
Yes.
That was the dorm room I stayed in Edwardsville. Evergreen.
Was it really?
It was.
Producer Joe says, isn't the McKernan Show or the Cat Chat Stuff podcast way more relevant to play at this time of year? That's Producer Joe.
Yes, Joe.
Questioning.
Those are not in the 590. From what I know, they're not in the 590 formula.
I
And
like,
so,
I like the way that you kind of put that little disclaimer on there. As far as I know,
That's just for me. So
No, you could absolutely no. The
We went for sure.
podcast stuff of the Cats podcast and my podcast are now they're still owned by Inside STL, just like TMA is owned by it. But 590 sells the podcast now, so it can be played if you wanted to. Now, if you guys have made a decision after meeting on what segments would be
No,
best,
I'll be perfectly honest. Here, this is kind of lazy, and I'm going to throw this out.
Right. Kind of getting to the truth
here,
now.
let me actually explain another wrinkle to
All right.
this.
There's a wrinkle.
Mark Hanna our sponsor, Mark
Okay,
Hanna, has
we
been on.
can
I
get
just
him-
got a
we can
text
get
from
him
Pete.
on, yeah.
Mark Hanna's been on hold for 12 minutes.
Oh,
Doug,
he's
he
not a-
pays to sponsor this show.
He's not a
listening
sponsor
to a
anymore.
discussion
He
of
will
how
not
lazy
be.
it is. God bless America.
this is the
Mark-
worst time to discuss our
Yeah,
laziness.
it really was. It really was. I was hoping all sponsors were not listening, and one was been on hold for the last 12 minutes. Mark, are you impressed?
Well, I did get to hear about Doug's jowls, so there was an upside.
Yeah, they're watering like a kind of a wolf before he goes after the sheep.
Wolfgang.
Yeah, yeah. They brought in some barbecue, and boy, that smells good.
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Mark, we appreciate it as always, and we would like to apologize on behalf of the show, the dais, 590, the fan, for putting you on hold for 12 minutes while we discussed our best of that is essentially a re-airing of yesterday's show.
But now I get to think about Doug's jowls all day long.
Okay.
Wow.
Doug's
Wow.
He's been eating some of this barbecue that is so good. My word, that's good stuff. Thank you.
Doug, this
Thank you.
Mark Hanna not only is a guy that can help you financially, but it seems like he might like to help you in general.
Well, I was thinking if you're in your 60s, it's probably way too early to think about retirement and setting money aside.
Yep.
Is that the advice you would give me? Oh, he's gone now. Shoot.
He didn't want to stick around, but I can tell you.
I was going to get some real financial advice.
Well, that's
there.
kind of. I mean, we had a sponsor coming in. We wrapped up the Mark Hanna. I didn't know you were gonna pull out a question 3 minutes after we.
That's okay.
And I can tell you.
Clock is loaded for bear.
Look, dude,
I
I read the text line. I'm not a fan of people questioning my work ethic.
Janie the
Or
lesbian even went after you. Janie the lesbian went after you. Janie the
that's
lesbian
fine.
barely ever texted.
And guess what, listeners? People saying, why is it up to me what we play in the best of? Guess what? It isn't now. You guys get to create the best of next time we do it. So
oh, wow,
be
Sadie
it.
Hawkins.
I love the
I can
alien
tell you, though,
stuff.
that wealth
Calm down, Angry.
Can I just tell you that wealth management in many ways is like picking out a best of show.
Yep.
You take yesterday's money and invest that, and then you're done.
Well, I think the reality is when you're eating great barbecue, nothing else really matters.
If you have 2 minutes before email, can I explain just another wrinkle about why I do feel a little lazy. I'll be honest here, but I don't feel bad about it. But I'll be honest.
Okay.
So like everybody gets a day off for the best ofs. The only way I could get the day off was to have the segments in to Johnny Lomax, our great executive producer, our great engineer.
Yeah, engineer.
He gets the segment by noon on Tuesday. He's able to automate, and so I don't have to come in and press spacebar 3 times for 3 hours.
Right.
Seemed kind of pointless, you know what I mean? So I was able to maybe have that little extra want to, which allowed me maybe not to check segments past 2 days ago. Yes, Kat, in the back.
Earlier, when it was the fresh criticism and you were under fire immediately after announcing that it's from 2 days ago, you said it was because it was timely. I'm just curious why you didn't.
Look,
this seems to be a legitimate, real reason why you just didn't offer that up in
There's
the
a lot
beginning.
of bullet point reasons. One of them was timely. The one right underneath of it, I wanted that day off. Going on a little hike with my gal and the dog, so I think I deserved that day off.
I think you would have
So I
taken
shot
less
for
heat
it.
if you had just said that up front instead of trying to peddle BS.
I wanted to be honest.
Not on this dais.
And let's be honest, that was a fun show. We're gonna every listener can have a blast, sit by the hearth, podcast. They're gonna listen and realize how great
See,
of an
again,
idea
you're peddling
it
the
was.
BS because it was a segment from 2 days ago that was
Well, the astronomy talk was very important.
That was
Well,
fun.
Iggy's above.
Well, in
we
30,
Plowhawk Buck Swope is not on board with your explanation
I get
on
it.
the fan page.
I get it. And I understand. Buck Swope, he's an historian. This probably is a slap in the face to all historians.
well, next time Buck Swope can come in and put the best of together if you
I
want
would
something
agree,
better.
but I
And I'm
wouldn't
going to
ask
answer.
him.
I'm going to answer Prod Joe.
But I mean, in fairness, Buck Swope is not on the company's payroll.
Well, but he keeps talking about the segments like he could do better. We'll come in and do it. And to answer Prod Joe, who was bashing the producers, look, you don't produce the show anymore, buddy. You worry about the open spot in lane 4 and row 6. That's what you worry about. Don't worry about the show. You don't produce anymore.
You really got your testosterone worked up with the gal in the studio, and now this, didn't you?
And then it's a best of tomorrow, and we're going to go back to Monday's show.
We're going to remember how great this segment was
Yep.
for a best of. I do feel a little lazy. I'll be honest here, but I don't feel bad about it.